I'm excited to yap about books with y'all today. I've been waiting all day for this. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bailey and we like to read a little bit. It is 2025, January when I'm filming this to be exact. And I wanted to do a beginning of the year book tag. I got this idea from bestie Larry, and as we all know, her book tags slay, just like she does. I'm excited to yap about books with y'all today. I've been waiting all day for this. So get ready, let's get into it. So the first question is, how many books are you planning on reading in 2025? Fun fact about me, especially if you're new here, every single year I set my reading goal on Goodreads to 100 books. And it's not because I don't think I can read more. I know I'm gonna read more than that, but that is an obtainable goal so that if something does, God forbid, happen to where I can't read that much in the year, I still feel accomplished. Will that ever change? Maybe. Never say never, but as for right now, it is not changing. Okay, question number 2, a book that you are likely to reread this year. There are a couple of these that I want to reread, but I only picked 3. Kind of. The first one is the whole Magnolia Park series. All of the besties either have recently read or are rereading this series, and I miss them something fierce. Okay, I miss these characters. I read these in 2022, I believe. Yes, the beginning, no, maybe? Years are hard. I either read it at the beginning of 2022 or the beginning of 2023, and I miss them. This series messed me up. Okay, I feel so deeply for every single one of these characters. I really just miss Julian, okay? I miss Julian. He is my #1 book boyfriend, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, because like, he's kind of a side character. Yes, he gets his own POV, but like, he's not the main focus of these books. But he is still my #1 book boyfriend. He's perfect in every single way. I will hear nothing else. He is perfection, and I miss them. So we're gonna be rereading these, and I'm ready for some pain. So I also want to reread Fairytale by Veronica Lancet. I read this in 2022 and I have not stopped thinking about it. This is the only book that I have read that is like this. So this is a whole bunch of genres lumped into one, okay? You've got historical romance, you've got fantasy romance, you've got paranormal romance, you've got gothic romance, all of it all together. And it is one of the most romantic books that I have ever read in my life. Okay, Eamon D'Arton, the MMC in this book, is also on my top book boyfriend list and my top 10. I love him. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it is also historical romance. Okay, basically we follow Darcy, and Darcy gets called to come home back to her hometown of Fairytale because her father has passed away, and in order to receive what he has left her, she has to go back, right? Well, when she gets there, some weird stuff starts happening. She meets this guy named Caleb, and Caleb is acting really nice and he's showing her around, but then he starts acting a little weird, and she's also having these dreams about this man, and she feels like they're real, but they're not, because she wakes up and there's some ghost stuff happening too, and it's crazy. It's crazy and it's romantic and it is everything. Here's the thing about it too. It's not gonna be for everybody because not everyone likes being confused a lot of the time, right? But I love it. I ate it up, okay? And I can't wait to reread this because I miss them. I miss this book. She is big, okay? But trust. And I also want to reread Drive by Kate Stewart. Okay, this is my favorite rockstar romance of all time because it's more than just a rockstar romance. This book altered my brain chemistry. People talk about the Ravenhood trilogy all the time. I need more people to talk about Drive. The Bittersweet Symphony duet is so much better, in my opinion. Now, Reverse, I love Reverse, the second book, but Drive is my favorite. I am a can I speak? I am a Reed Crone girly through and through. Okay, I love a drummer. I love a drummer. I love a tortured artist, and Reed Crone is definitely that. Okay, in this story, we follow Stella, and she's like driving on her way home, listening to the soundtrack of her life, which each chapter does have a soundtrack, and the book transports you back to how she got where she was, and it is a love triangle, so you're getting to meet both of these men. She's driving home in the present to the man that she chose, but you don't know which one. And the best thing about this is when I say this is love triangle done so right, I mean it. Like, you love both of the MMCs. I just typically prefer a more tortured man. That is why Reed is my favorite. I lost time when I was reading this book. I did not want to do anything else. It was one of those where you literally, like, you go to the doctor, you're sitting in the waiting room, you're reading the book. You are at a red light, you're reading, don't tell anyone I said that. You're at a red light, you open up your Kindle app on your phone and you read the book, especially if it's a long red light. It's one of those where you just cannot physically put it down. And it's so good, and I can't wait to be back. I'm a little scared to do rereads because I'm afraid they're not gonna hit as hard, but I also, these are all in God tier. I know they're going to. They're going to hit so freaking hard, okay? Okay. Question number 3 is a priority read on your 2025 TBR. That is going to be Heavenly Bodies by Imani Iriu. I think that's how you say her name. I have been seeing this everywhere, and Bestie Emmy read this recently, and she said that this book has so much yearning, it's not even funny. And if there's one thing about me, I love a man who yearns. Let me read the back to you. It says, in a world ruled by the cruel and merciless stars, Alara has been cursed by fate. A prophecy promises she will fall for a star, but that will kill them both. So when Ariet, a star of wrath and war, descends to wreak havoc on Alara's kingdom of night, she flees her home only to be captured by the neighboring Helios, kingdom of light, and falls straight into the arms of an enemy prince. Fearing that Ariet might turn his sights to Helios next, Prince Lorenzo is forced to train Alara as a weapon, one worthy of battling against the tyrannical reign of the stars. An undeniable star-crossed pull between Alara and Lorenzo, and neither can seem to resist. It sounds so good, and I can't wait. I love a good book with yearning. You know, I'm excited for this one. Number 4, an author you will not be reading more books from last year, from 2024. I hated this book, and I am so scared to read more Julie Soto. I know a lot of people love her books, but I just don't think her writing is for me. I was very bored. Everybody said this MMC was super grumpy and that it was a really good love story. He's a florist, she's a wedding planner, but literally his only personality trait was that he was a grumpy florist. Like, that was it. There was no depth. That's just my opinion. You may have loved this book, and that's fine, but I don't think I'm gonna read any more Julie Soto. I don't think it's for me. And that's okay. That's okay. Next question. Something new you want to read, new genres or tropes. I really want to get more into thrillers in 2025. I have read some Frida McFadden, and I've read Lucinda Berry. I've read Frida McFadden and Lucinda Berry, but I want to read more. I really want to get into Riley Sager. I've heard really good things about his books. I also want to read more high fantasy. I used to read high fantasy more, but lately I've just been reading fantasy romance or romantasy or whatever you may call it. I know there's a whole bunch of different like subgenres within the fantasy romance genre, right? I'm just craving a good high fantasy, you know? Number 6 is a popular book that you want to read. This one just got released yesterday. All of my mutuals are rating it 5 stars. It's called The Favorites. It is by Lane Fargo, and it's ice skating related. I am dying to read this book. I have almost no idea what it's about. I just know that a lot of my mutuals who have read it have rated it 5 stars and said that it is probably going to be one of their favorite books of the year, and I need that. I feel like I really need that in my life. I want to start the year off with a bang. I'm hoping that The Favorites will give that to me, but it sounds so good based on, I say that, I didn't even tell you what it was about. We should talk about what it's about. An epic love story set in the sparkling savage sphere of elite figure skating, starring a woman determined to carve her own path off the ice. People are saying part Wuthering Heights, part Daisy Jones and the Six. She has an incident at the Olympic Games that brings her partnership to a sudden end. As the 10-year anniversary of their final skate approaches, an unauthorized documentary reignites the public discussion, with Shaw and Rocha claiming to uncover the real story through interviews their closest friends and fiercest rivals. Kat wants nothing to do with the documentary, but she can't stand the thought of someone else defining her legacy, so after a decade of silence, she's telling her story, from the childhood tragedies that created her all-consuming bond with Heath to the clash of desires that tore them apart. That just sounds so good. It sounds like there's gonna be so much drama, so I'm ready for that one. My most anticipated 2025 book release. There are so many to choose from, but I decided to just go with one, okay? Because it says most anticipated. I'm just gonna talk about one. I had to narrow it down. It's going to be the 4th book in the Legacy series by Melissa K. Rorick. If you love character growth, if you love fantasy, if you love urban fantasy, if you love fae, if you love dragons, if you love drama, if you love angst, if you love vengeful women, read this book. But like I said, there's a lot of character growth, okay? You are not going to like these characters at the very beginning. This is the spin-off series from Lady of Darkness by Melissa K. Rorick. I have not read that one, but you can read Legacy without reading that. There is a little bit of crossover though, but Melissa has said that you can read Legacy on its own. I am obsessed with these characters. They have burrowed their way into my heart and I love them so, so much. So in the first book, Tessa, our FMC, she is Fae. And Fae in this world are the equivalent of slaves. They are slaves to the legacy. And the legacy are like the royals, the elite. They have more power, whatever, right? And there are this group of Fae that gets chosen every so often to become a source for one of the legacy. And basically that means that they can pull power from the Fae that they choose, and the Fae is submissive and does whatever they want. Well, Tessa is not gonna let that happen, and she ends up getting chosen by the Shadow Daddy, Theon, and she's fighting every step of the way. And it is so much more than just that, but that's just to get you started. You need to read this series if you love all the things I mentioned when I first started talking about it. It's amazing. I'm obsessed with it. Melissa is fabulous. A bookish goal for 2025. My goal for 2025 is to start DNFing more. If I'm not feeling a book, I can just DNF it. It's not that big of a deal. I do it sometimes, right? But there are a lot of times where I just keep going because I'm like, oh, I want to know what happens. Oh, it'll probably get better. No, it just makes me miserable to have to keep going, and then it puts me in an even bigger slump and I'm not having a good time. I just don't want to do that anymore. So I am giving myself a free pass to DNF in 2025 as much as I want to, and that is okay. Will I stick to it? I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna try. A book that's been on your TBR that you probably will not ever read. This one was easy, okay? This was easy to choose. A Little Life. This book terrifies me. Okay, I don't even know why I bought it because I knew I'd be scared to read it. Every time I see someone reading this book, they are snotting, tears, crying, throwing up, that kind of vibe. And I just don't really want to put myself through that. There are a lot of times where I read darker stuff because I enjoy that. I feel like this would just like put me so deep into sadness, and I really don't want to do that to myself. So I don't think I'll ever read this. Is it possible? Yes, never say never. Your auto buy authors going into 2025. There are a couple. So the first is going to be Nicole Fiorina. She wrote the Stay With Me trilogy and the Tales of Weeping Hollow series. Tales of Weeping Hollow, there are only 2 books out so far, and it is in my god tier. I am obsessed with the way that Nicole writes, and these books just spoke to me on another level. It's like a town that's Halloween 24/7, spooky vibes, masked men, but done in such a eloquent way. Her writing is just lyrical. It's beautiful. I'm obsessed with these books. Stay With Me is finished. That is a finished series. It is amazing too. She just knows how to pull emotion out of me, and anything that she writes, I will read. Literally anything. Also, we have Carrie Lake. Carrie Lake is my gothic romance slow burn queen. I will read anything that this woman puts out. Anything. There's something about a Carrie Lake book because she writes gothic romance so perfectly, and her slow burns always hit. They always hit for me, and I am obsessed and I love her. Anything that these women write, I will buy. I will consume. A book to show adaptation you're excited about this year. This isn't book to show, this is book to movie, because I am 90% sure that People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, that movie is coming out this year. I'm not 100% positive, but I am so excited for that. The fact that all of Emily Henry's books are getting made into movies brings me such joy. I know that the banter is, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be so good, and I can't wait. A sequel you are anticipating. City of Gods and Monsters book 4, which is City of Smoke and Brimstone, I believe. The way that book 3 left off left me in physical pain, okay? Oh my God. I had to do a full debriefing with Bestie Mariana after I read these because she's the one who convinced me to read these, and I owe her my life for convincing me to read these. I owe her my life. I'm obsessed with them. Obsessed with Darien Castle and with the whole found family, because how could you not be? If you have read all 3 books and you are not obsessed with Darien Castle, are you okay? Genuinely, are you okay? Because I love them. I'm so ready for this book. I need answers. I need answers, and I need to be back with them. Bookish things that you are leaving in 2024. I am going to stop being so worried about what my books look like unless they're special editions. Crack that spine, dog ear that page, write in that book, tab that book, do what you want. It is your book. I'm telling you, but I'm also telling myself, because I will sometimes get in my head and I'm like, oh, what if I'm gonna give this to someone one day? No, it's mine. I'm not gonna give it to anybody. What if I wanna sell it? What if I need it to stay in mint condition for the rest of time? No. If I know that it is a limited edition copy or that it's getting picked up by a trad publisher, then yeah, I'll be easy with it. But as far as all my other books go, crack your damn spine. Basically, I'm going to start not being careful with my books. It's okay to toss them around, you know? It's okay. I'm not gonna rip them or anything, but it's okay for them to look loved. Mess them up. It's fine. What to expect from this account this year? Lots and lots of bookish content. I am really doubling down on YouTube this year. I'm so happy to be here. I love long form content. Belly, can you speak? I love long form content. I love to yap, and I am just excited to talk about books. And I really love this space. Everyone here, I feel like I'm building such a good community, and that matters so much to me. I love being able to share my love of reading with you guys. And so I'm really going to be focusing on creating content this year. More vlogs, more recs, all the things. And also maybe some trips, maybe vlogging some trips with some other bookish besties and things like that. I'm ready. I'm ready. I have made so many amazing friendships because of the bookish community, and I'm so incredibly grateful and happy to be here. So I'm going to push myself to film more. That's what we're doing in 2025. That's what you can expect from me, and I hope you're happy about it. How has your reading taste evolved from last year? So last year, at the beginning of the year, I was reading a lot of dark romance and regular romance, like contemporary. And then as the year came to an end, I was back in my fantasy bag. I was reading more romantasy, more fantasy. I was getting back into that. And I even picked up some thrillers. So I think that my taste has kind of broadened in that way. Even though it's like circling back to how it used to be as far as fantasy goes, it's also circling around over here and adding thrillers to the mix. I have also, this isn't really reading taste, but reading intake, also started listening to more audiobooks. Tandem reading with the audio. And that I have realized helps my ADHD too, because sometimes it's hard for me to focus when I'm first getting into a book. So if I have the audio and the physical or Kindle copy, and I can just read and listen at the same time, that helps me focus. And I love that. So that's new too. Booktube creators who inspire you. And boy, do I want to yap about this, okay? There are 4 in particular that inspire me every single day to be better, to film more, to do better content, to give myself grace, to be kinder to myself. They're just amazing people. And that is Emmy, Laura, Mariana, and Larry. I am obsessed with each and every one of them, and we'll go through them one by one. I know you're so excited. First off, Emmy. I have found out that I have so much more in common with her than I ever could have thought possible. Emmy reads a lot of fantasy romance. She reads a lot of romance, and she has recently gotten into dark romance, and this journey is one that I'm so excited to go on with her, or at least to watch her go on, because it's like getting to experience it for the first time again. She has amazing recs. She has very aesthetically pleasing videos, and that girl is the most organized woman I have ever met in my life, and I want to be more like her. I strive to be more like Emmy in 2025, and if you don't follow her, if you don't follow any of these girls, you absolutely should. Next up, we have Laura. Laura is my gothic romance queen. We have very similar book tastes when it comes to gothic romance, and I am obsessed with her. I'm obsessed with all of them, really, if you can't tell. But Laura is aesthetic, and she has great book taste, and Laura is one of the most kind people I've ever met in my life. And if you want a good reading vlog or book recs or creativity or even house ideas, because this girl's house pops off, okay, then you need to go follow Laura. And then we have bestie Mariana. Mariana is my girl. I have never met someone with more similar book taste to me than Mariana. It is very rare that we disagree on a book. I love her. I love her energy. And there's just something about Mariana that makes you want to sit down and listen. The way that she speaks, the way that she loves these books like we do, the way she carries herself, her aesthetic, all of it, you will be sat, seated, and paying attention. So if you have not, go follow her. And then we have, of course, bestie Larry. Larry is the OG, okay? She has taught me so much. She has incredible book taste. She makes me giggle with her reviews and with her vlogs. She's also hilarious, and she makes me feel better about being chaotic because she is also chaotic. If you don't follow Larry, so seriously, what have you been doing? Because she has been here for so long, and she will continue to be here. She is everything. I love these girls with my entire heart. This community has brought me to them, and for that I am forever grateful. Their accounts will be linked in the caption below. Thank you so much. And the last question is something you want to say to anyone wanting to start a bookish account. Do it. Press post. I was nervous for so long, and sometimes I still get self-conscious about not being aesthetic enough. I sometimes can't articulate myself very well, but who cares? You put content out, there will be someone out there who relates to you, who wants to watch your content, who wants to read the same books you're reading, who wants recs from you, okay? What you have to say does matter, and the people will come. I know it seems very daunting, it seems very scary to put yourself out there like that. There are always gonna be negative people, negative comments, comments, things like that, just let it breeze right over you, okay? Because for every negative comment, there's gonna be 5 positive ones. This community is wonderful, and we're all just here because we share a love of reading. And that is so beautiful to me. And if you wanna make content, then do it. Okay, do it for yourself though. Do it because it's fun. Do it because you enjoy it. Don't stress yourself out about it too much. Just do it. Press post. Click record, do the damn thing, okay? I believe in you. Well, that was all the questions. Tell me what bookish things you were expecting out of 2025. What books are you excited for? What shows are you excited for? Tell me everything, okay? If you had an answer to one of these questions that you wanna share, please do it. I am always here to listen and yap with you. Thanks for letting me yap to you guys today. I love all of you so, so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all of the things, and I will talk to y'all next week.